All right, everybody. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. Today, we're going to talk about where to put your emergency savings. And as a refresher, emergency savings are savings that you have set aside for emergencies only, not to go buy lipstick. All right, the first place you can put your emergency savings is in a high yield savings account. All this is a savings account that pays really high interest rates compared to other savings accounts. There's a lot of them out there, all right? There's traditional banks, online banks. If you go online and do a quick Google search, you're going to find plenty of banks that offer high yield savings accounts, all right? The interest rates these accounts pay are almost or even more than 30 times more than traditional banks, all right? 30 times more interest. If you go log on to your bank account right now, go check your interest rate. It's probably nothing. It's probably 0.05%, which is going to give you, what, $5 in income a year? These accounts offer roughly about 1.5% interest rates every single year. That is way more, 30 times more than you're going to get at a normal bank, all right? This is the place that you want to put your emergency savings. It's just a savings account that pays a super high interest rate, and there's really no downside. Why is there no downside? Because it's FDIC insured. What is the FDIC? It's the Federal Depositors Insurance Corporation. It is a government organization that insures your savings up to $250,000. The reason the government does this is because they want to prevent bank runs, right? Back in the day, when the economy crashed, people would flood banks and they would say, give me my entire deposit back. Well, banks don't actually keep all your deposits in the bank vaults. They actually lend that money out, and that's how they make money. So the government stepped in and said, hey, we're going to insure up to $250,000 of every person's personal savings in a bank account, right? There's no downside to this. You literally just go and fill out an application. You transfer your money to this high yield savings account, and boom, you just get paid money every month. You get paid way more money every month. I personally have one, and I made $800 last year in interest just by transferring some money over. It's totally worth it, all right? Where can you find some good high yield savings accounts? You got Marcus by Goldman Sachs. They're paying 1.55% right now. CIT Bank, not Citibank, CIT Bank, 1.50. Synchrony Bank, 1.50, all right? All you have to do is transfer your money over, and you get way more interest than you normally would. Now, I put these examples on here, but if you're looking for an account to put your savings in for your emergency savings, it may not be these banks because these rates change all the time. So you need to go online and shop for the best high yield savings account for you. Certificates of deposit, also known as CDs, another great place to put your emergency savings. All it is that you're getting a slightly higher interest rate, and what you're doing with the bank is you're allowing the bank to lock in that money, and you're promising not to withdraw it for whatever time period the CD is effective for. So if you get a 1-year CD, the bank gets that money for 1 year, they pay you a slightly higher interest rate, and you're basically not touching that money at all. And the bank pays you a higher interest rate because you are not likely to use that money. You're not likely to take that money out of the bank. So they're free to do with it whatever they want, all right? The only disadvantage is that they're slightly more illiquid than high yield savings. They're still pretty liquid, but if you want to cash out of a CD, there's probably going to be some kind of withdrawal penalty, whether you give up part of the interest or all the interest that you earned on that CD. So that's one thing you need to be aware of. Now, a way to avoid that is you can ladder your CDs. And basically all you do is you buy a 1-year CD, then a 2-year CD, 3-year, 4-year, 5-year. So you split your savings between the CDs. Every year a CD matures, and then you buy a new CD for 5 years with that CD that just matured. And what that does is it allows you to get newer and better interest rates as they come along. What are some options available? Well, basically the same banks that I said before. You got Marcus, Synchrony Bank, and Ally. And if you also notice, the interest rates are slightly higher. So you lock your money away for a certain amount of years. You can still access it, but if you don't, let's say you don't have any emergencies, you get a better interest rate. These are not a bad deal. And they're FDIC insured, so you don't have to worry about losing the money. The bank just can't gamble it away. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, emergency savings is for emergencies only. And this is a big emergency, like losing your job or having a huge unexpected healthcare bill come around, all right? This account is not to be plundered for your every whim and desire. You need to put this money away and then leave it there until you actually need it, all right? This helps you avoid the debt trap. If you don't have emergency savings, every time a big bill comes up, you're going right back into debt, which is a terrible idea, all right? You want 1 to 3 months of emergency savings initially. I talked about this in a previous video. You save 1 to 3 months, then you pay off your high interest debt, like your crappy car loan or your credit cards. After you pay those off, then you build 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. These savings are to cover 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, your essential living expenses, all right? Worst case scenario. You can always have more emergency savings. I do. It's not an exact science. This is a general, range of savings that people recommend you have. I have way more because that's what makes me feel comfortable, all right? I may be losing some money by not investing it, but I don't care. It makes me feel good, and that's all that matters. One last thing to note. Your emergency savings, even if they're in a high yield savings account and in a CD, they're not going to beat inflation, all right? This is not an investment. This is an account you have for emergencies only. So if somebody says, hey man, you have too much money in your savings and it's screwing you, you could be making more money in the stock market. Well, I mean, if you're comfortable with having 3 months there, that's fine. You can invest the rest. But if you have an amount there that makes you comfortable, let's say it's 6 months, 7 months, that's fine. You can leave it there. It's not going to make much money. It's probably not going to beat inflation, but its purpose is not for you to just make a bunch of money. The purpose is to protect you, all right? Please remember that. All right, everybody, that's the video for today. It's kind of short. Please like and subscribe. Post a comment if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful night.